Today, we're diving into Dave Ramsey's classic bestseller, The Total Money Makeover. Now, this isn't just another finance book. It's a proven plan, a step-by-step guide to financial fitness that has literally helped millions of people completely turn their lives around. We're going to unpack exactly how it works.
So let's just start with a provocative question, shall we? What does it actually mean to be financially normal in our culture? You know, we're kind of told it means having a car payment, some student loans, a few credit cards. It's just what people do. But what if that version of normal is really just broke?
And here's the stat that backs that up. According to the Wall Street Journal, a staggering 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. So yeah, normal means being in a constant state of financial stress, always just one flat tire away from a total disaster. The whole point of the plan we're talking about today is to make you weird, not normal.
Okay, so how on earth did we get here? Well, according to the book, it's because we've all kind of bought into these powerful myths about money, especially when it comes to debt. We've just been taught that it's the way the world works. And here is the biggest myth of them all. We've been sold this idea that debt is a tool, something you can use to build wealth. But the book argues that the complete opposite is true. Debt just adds a ton of risk to your life, and as that ancient proverb says, the borrower is slave to the lender.
I love this quote because it just perfectly explains the problem with these money myths. When the economy is booming, it's like a tornado. And in that storm, even bad financial ideas, like a turkey, can get swept up and look like they're flying. But what happens when the storm passes? That turkey comes crashing right back down to earth. Your financial plan has to work when things are good and when they're bad. And that brings us to a truth that can be kinda hard to swallow, but it's absolutely crucial. The biggest problem with your money isn't the economy or your boss or the banks. The biggest problem is the person looking back at you in the mirror. And you know what? The book says that's fantastic news. Because if you're the problem, that means you're also the solution.
So this is the main point, right here. It's not about learning some complex financial formula. Winning with money is all about controlling your behavior. It's about what you do, not just what you know. I mean, think about it. If it were just about knowledge, every single finance professor would be a millionaire, and we know that's just not true.
And this behavioral problem, it is everywhere. A shocking 90% of people in our culture buy things they simply can't afford. It's this habit that's driven by wanting to look successful, to keep up with the neighbors, even when the neighbors themselves are secretly drowning in debt.
So if our behavior is the real problem, the solution has to be a simple, focused plan that you can actually stick to. And that's where the baby steps come in. It's this really clear sequential path that's designed to build momentum and change your habits one small step at a time.
Here's just a quick look at the first few steps. I want you to notice the order here. It's not about trying to do everything at once. It's about tackling one single thing with intense focus, and only then moving on to the next. That focus is the secret sauce that makes this whole thing work.
Okay, so let's zoom in on baby step 1. Before you even think about attacking your debt, you need to build a small buffer, a little cushion between you and all the little things life is going to throw at you. This step is all about making sure you don't get knocked off course before you even really get started. I love how the book puts this. Think of this first chunk of savings as Murphy repellent. You know Murphy's Law, right? Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. This fund is for when the transmission goes out or the fridge suddenly dies. It keeps a small crisis from turning into a major catastrophe that throws you right back into debt. And the goal is incredibly simple and concrete. Save $1,000 and do it fast. Have a garage sale, pick up extra shifts, whatever you have to do to get that money in the bank. This isn't an investment, it's insurance. It's your first big win, and it's the foundation for everything else to come. So, you've got your starter emergency fund locked and loaded. Now it's time to attack your debt. But probably not in the way you'd expect. The debt snowball is all about psychology and momentum, not just cold, hard math. So, here's how it works. You list out all of your debts, from the smallest balance to the largest, and you completely ignore the interest rates for a minute. You throw every single extra dollar you can find at that smallest debt until it is gone. Then, you take the payment you were making on it and you roll it onto the next smallest debt. This creates a snowball of money that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and you start knocking out debts faster and faster.
The book uses this amazing image to describe the mindset you need for this to work. It's called gazelle intensity. Think about it. When a cheetah is chasing a gazelle, that gazelle isn't just kind of jogging along. It is running for its life.
That's the kind of focused, panicked sprint you need to have away from your predator, which in this case is debt.
And this is the payoff. This quote from one of the success stories in the book just captures the huge impact of getting debt-free. It's not just about your bank account. It's about breaking a cycle and creating a totally new legacy for your entire family. It's huge.
Which brings us to the ultimate goal, the whole reason for doing the makeover in the first place. It is all about making some short-term sacrifices so that you can achieve a level of freedom that, frankly, most people will never ever experience.
This is the motto for the entire plan right here. It means saying no to the brand new car, the fancy vacations, and eating out all the time now, so that later you can pay cash for all those things without even blinking. It's a trade, a few years of intense focus for a lifetime of peace.
And that leaves us with one final question to think about. Just imagine it for a second. What would your life actually look like with no mortgage, no car loan, no student loan, no credit card bills, nothing? What could you do with your single greatest wealth-building tool, your income, if every single dollar of it was yours to keep? That's the freedom the Total Money Makeover is all about.